economy falling this month as gas prices resume their climb. The Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index falling during the month of July. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meeting with President Trump today face-to-face for the first time since the war was launched 5 months ago today. Both leaders, as well as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, will attend funeral services for South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham at the National Cathedral this afternoon. Senator John Thune at the Capitol Rotunda honoring him today.
And to Lindsay, rest in peace, my friend. I look forward to the days when you make us all laugh again.
People are believed trapped under a collapsed shopping mall in southern Japan following a strong earthquake earlier this morning. This is ABC News. Fear among Haitian immigrants whose temporary protected status has now ended because of a Supreme Court ruling. ABC's Armando Garcia covers immigration for ABC News.
We're talking about people who, in some cases, have been living in this country for years. Now they're being told you can no longer be here, you can no longer work here, and you got to get out.
There are about 300,000 Haitian immigrants currently in the U.S. Many of them say because of the violence and abject poverty awaiting them back in Haiti, there is no way they can return. Johnson & Johnson says it's agreed to pay an estimated $5.5 billion to settle tens of thousands of lawsuits connected to its products that contain talc. ESPN reporting that even though LeBron James will be a Philadelphia 76er, he will reside in New York City and keep his apartment there during the NBA season. He'll commute daily from the city to Philadelphia, potentially by helicopter. The drive from New York to Philly is about 2 hours, depending on traffic. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Gang-related. That is how Seattle police now describe the mass shooting Sunday night at the Bite of Seattle. But first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. There's a new crash on southbound 405. The express toll lane and the left general purpose lane are blocked right now. It's about a half mile blockage as you get to Canyon Park, so only the right lane right now is open. It's about an hour and a half from Everett into Bellevue, an hour and 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle. And the crash on the right shoulder outside the Mount Baker Tunnel on westbound I-90 is getting cleared right now. Other drive times: Renton to Bellevue, about 40 minutes, 55 Federal Way to Seattle. The Valley Freeway is running about 45 minutes right now. This is your traffic news report.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Seattle police now believe Sunday night's deadly mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle was a gunfight between rival gangs. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with the latest.
Assistant Police Chief Nicole Powell says a 19-year-old man, one of 3 killed in the shooting, was one of the gunmen, and a 15-year-old arrested at the scene was his gang associate.
There were 2 groups firing in the area near the armory during the Bite of Seattle. We believe 2 of the individuals were associates with each other.
All 4 people injured are now back home, including a 2-year-old boy. Police are reviewing footage from private cameras at Seattle Center. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Police say a 3rd gunman is now on the loose. If you have any information, call the police tip hotline. The only suspect in the Bite of Seattle shooting is now in custody and had a court hearing just yesterday. KIRO News Radio's Luke James Lynch was there.
Police say it all started with some type of dispute and escalated to gunfire. According to court documents, police say there were 3 shooters, the 15-year-old in custody, another who reportedly died in the shootout, and a 3rd who got away. Casey McNerney with the King County Prosecutor's Office says a decision now looms whether the case moves forward in juvenile or adult court.
If you're 15 or younger, in the court process, it's called a discretionary decline. That means that it's up to a judge, after hearing from both sides, whether or not to move it to adult court.
In court, the judge found probable cause for 3 counts of assault, which we will likely see upgraded, and unlawful gun possession. He was ordered held in secure detention at least until his next hearing, expected Thursday morning. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
We have learned the identities of the 3 people killed. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas reports.
19-year-old Junior C. Nico Simo died from multiple gunshot wounds. Investigators believe he was shooting at another person along with a 15-year-old suspect who's in custody. 44-year-old Carlos Israel Sanchez Villalba died from a gunshot wound to the torso. And 56-year-old Ashley Whitehead died from a gunshot wound to the pelvis. She passed at the hospital.
Community members and Seattle leaders gathered at Seattle Center last night to honor those victims.
Enough is enough! An emotional and at times tense scene as local organizers and city officials, including Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson,
as you said, the solution is all of us here together,
and Police Chief Sean Barnes were on hand.
What could we have done better? And what do we need to do better?
I don't know how to make sense out of it, but I also know this is not going to break us.
One thing that leaders stress, saying even with safeguards in place, people have to continue to work together to make the most out of the community resources available and pull together, especially in times like these.
That was KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas reporting. Now to your KIRO News Radio weather. It's mostly cloudy today, but I'm seeing peaks of sunshine through our studio right now. Temperatures are going to be cooler today. Highs will be in the low 70s. Right now, it's about 62 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today, but Angela Poe Russell is in. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be with you.
Well, we have a super packed show.
Yes.
I don't know how we're going to cram everything into 3 hours, but we're going to try.
Somehow we always do. We'll get there together.
We do, and we're going to do it exactly with all of you. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Of course, we're going to do in-depth coverage of the mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle and new details and some of our thoughts that we have not had a chance to share. But Angela, coming up at 9:30, you recently got sick from something you ate?
Yes, something. I just don't know what it was. I mean, how many different things are going around right now between cyclospora and salmonella? And I mean, who knows?
Who knows? But coming up at 9:30, we're going to talk about how much we can really trust our food supply on the ranking 1 through 10, 10 being I fully trust it. Where are you at right now? And the reason we're bringing this up is because there are fewer federal food safety workers and fewer illnesses being tracked. So one of the questions you have is it time to start growing our own food? To which my answer is, I'm going to end up starving if I'm going to have to rely on food that I grow. So I'm up a creek. Okay, but anyway, we're going to get going. Our top stories right now brought to you by Pendergast Law. And the latest now is that Seattle police are still looking for a third suspect in what they believe was a gang-related gun battle at the Bite of Seattle. Detectives say at least 3 people may have opened fire at each other on Sunday night near the Space Needle. A 15-year-old suspect is in custody, and police say one of the 3 people killed, 19-year-old Junio Semo, was also involved in the shooting. And police believe there were 2 groups firing at each other with at least one other shooter still unidentified. The other 2 people killed were 44-year-old Carlos Villalba and 56-year-old Ashley Whitehead. 5 other people were injured, including a 2-year-old boy. Thankfully, that boy was released from Harborview yesterday. And this is the first day that you and I get a chance to react to what happened on Sunday. And when you heard about it, what were your first thoughts?
God, I love going to summer festivals. I love going to the Bite of Seattle. I mean, all the festivals that come out, you'll usually find me going by them. And it's made me kind of reevaluate what that could look like, because clearly we're not going in the right direction. I remember when I first moved here, one of the first big gang-relating shootings I remember, it was 2012, Justin Ferrari. I don't know if you remember that case.
I do.
But he was simply driving down the street and caught in the crossfire. You know, fast forward several years, my husband driving through the street and all of a sudden stray bullets, go into his car. And I remember at the time, the police officer who came by was hesitant to use the word gang because we're not allowed to use that word. Well, how do we even solve it if we can't even say it?
Right.
I've never understood that, and I know there's the whole thing about not trying to stigmatize or not trying. It's just say what it is. And if we have a gang problem, say we have a gang problem.
Yes.
And if you have a description of who was involved in the shooting, give it as quickly as you can and as accurately as you can with what information that you have. And I understand that, there's been misidentities or, like people have been misidentified or wrongly accused. We don't want that. But I think when you start saying things like, well, two small groups of young people, people are going to read into it anyway. Mm-hmm. Right. But my initial reaction on Sunday was, like you said, my son was about to go there. He lives right by Seattle Center. And he said, he was the one who texted us, said, oh my God, there's been a shooting. And I was just about to go there and get some food because it was toward the end. It was like, maybe I can get a nice deal. And it was a nice night. And the number of people to see first of all, a 15-year-old armed with a gun in a very crowded place, opening fire with zero regard for anyone else around.
Yeah, I know. And this is my other thought, is we have to be willing to do the hard work of doing an autopsy. When I say an autopsy, even let's say, I want to say they said that the 15-year-old, I don't think there are any priors, but that doesn't mean there weren't signs. Mm-hmm. So just like we've tracked the school shooters and their backgrounds, we need to track what leads up to this. And I guarantee you, was this person going to school? Was this person, the truancy piece? Mm-hmm. Where were the parents? Was CPS ever involved? And I guarantee you there were warning signs and places where we can intervene.
Such obvious warning signs that there are pictures being circulated of these gangs, of the gangs that are allegedly involved in this. And I saw one picture circulating with one of the suspects. Again, one of the deceased is believed to be part of the gang. But, the more information we know, the more, and I don't want to use the word armed, but the more armed we are to react to it. You're absolutely right. Like, what can we do? There are supposed to be disruptors to some of these violent acts by young people who, maybe don't or aren't shown that they've got some kind of pathway forward.
And can I just want to keep, as G would say, keep it a buck, and keeping G's spirit alive. I just sometimes feel like there's not enough will to solve it. And when I say there's not I'm not going to apologize.
No, don't.
I'm sitting here looking at what happened with the young man who was killed. He was an innocent student at Garfield High School, killed. Most of the community know who the shooter is, and somehow we haven't arrested him. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, had someone else been a victim, a different income level or different situation, and they would have solved it by now. And so I get the feeling. Now, whether this is true, please hear me, y'all. I'm not saying this is true. I'm telling you how I feel. And how I feel is, I think there's a perception that gangs don't impact this community, so it's not our priority. And eventually, if you don't solve the one problem somewhere else, it will impact everywhere else. Mm-hmm. I sometimes feel like if we had the will, that we would do it. And I just sometimes feel like we're not motivated.
Well, and I think you touch on a point where that's where I understand where there's some unwillingness to say it's gang related, because then it's easy to say, well, that's their problem. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's basically, it's all of our problem.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times it's also easy. Well, where are the parents? That is a great question. What's happening? But there's so many factors that go into where are the parents. Maybe they don't have any supervision. And again, what can we do as a society to help in those situations? But, bottom line is you've got a 15-year-old who now is potentially facing murder charges. If they can prove that, you've got someone else who is still out on the loose, who was potentially involved in this, and you got another one dead.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. I know we still have time. Yes. You all know, maybe I've shared the story that I was in a grocery store and was hit by a basketball by a group of kids.
Yes.
And and had a concussion, traumatic brain injury. It was awful. and the security knew who the kids were. This was during school hours, and they were at the grocery store instead of being in school. And I remember talking to a security person at a pharmacy totally months later, and they all know who the kid is. They all know who the kid is. And so my point is, these things don't just happen out of the blue at these events. It's a bunch of little things that have, and I use quote, little things that happened before that we just tolerate.
Well, and the question is, what can you do within the law? And one of the things is with someone who doesn't have priors, what can you do? You know that they could be, let's just say if it's that 15-year-old that you know could be a troublemaker, what do you do? And it raises questions about this next story that I'm going to bring up, because even before Sunday's deadly shooting, some Bite of Seattle attendees were questioning whether this festival had enough security. In a TikTok video posted the day before the shooting, one person who was at the Bite said he was stunned to see people openly carrying guns inside the center.
No security, no pat down, no search of the bag. Surprise, there's not any security walking around. It's Bite of Seattle got the budget. Y'all got the sponsors. You got the support. Seattle, you should not be able to just walk up into this festival with all of these people, with all of these vendors, with no security.
So the Bite brings in, 350,000 people over 3 days. It is one of Seattle's largest annual festivals. And I guess the question would be, what kind of security do you expect in an event like this?
Yeah, I want to say, I hope I'm not remembering wrong, but I remember going to a Juneteenth event, very open festival, and there was security. And before you go in, you open your bag and you head. I think that we're in a time now where, it's hard at Seattle Center because there's so many points of entry.
This is true.
It makes it a little like where I'm thinking of the event I was at. It was at a park, near the African American Museum. There has to be a way to. So I think there's a way you can design it where you only have so many entrances into the festival. And I absolutely think going forward, there should just be so many entrances. Maybe you have 3 to 4 entrances at different points and security there where you just show your bag. Is that, Jeff, do you grieve that idea?
I think that's completely impractical. Mm-hmm. I'm not anti-security. I'm anti-lines, right? The idea that every single public event that you go into, you should have to deal with a TSA-like situation. Or, just look at getting into T-Mobile Park, right? The line stretches around the block for an average day game with 30,000 people there. And there's much more that attend the Bite of Seattle every year. I just don't, we can't create a society with 370 million guns plus where you go through a metal detector to be around other people in public. Yeah. I just don't think it's reasonable. Okay, and this is not a ticketed event either.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Could it happen? Could it be done? You just mentioned stadiums. They do it for stadiums for, large groups. But are you willing to wait in line to have your bag checked?
And then Brad brought up a point about you being able to carry a weapon, but certain events can require that you don't have them here. With this being on public property, because I think that area is officially public property, or maybe it's these days, I don't know. I find places that I thought were public and they're private.
Yeah, it's a public-private thing. The Space Needle is privately owned, Seattle Center grounds, public. But even in this case, again, going back to a 15-year-old suspect, a 15-year-old with a gun, clearly we don't have enough basically deterrence for 15-year-olds to get guns. And there are too many people who are sloppy about handling their own guns, so they're so easily stolen. Because how does a 15-year-old get a gun?
Yeah. And Todd made a great point. Would you go through a checkpoint at the mall? You were like, where does it stop?
I just wouldn't go to the mall, right? Public participation goes down when you create barriers to entry.
But it also goes down if you don't feel like you're safe in a particular event.
Sure.
At the end of the day, this is so this is a layered issue.
Yes.
It's not going to be one thing.
No.
But I absolutely think it needs to start with figuring out what were the signs for the young person that led them down this path in the first place. Because that's like I said, I gave the example of we know for a fact those kids in the grocery store, in my situation, they weren't in school. So
yeah. Well, and
what
then,
are we doing
and then
about
the
that?
other part is when you have a crime like this and now they're going into the system. I mean, in this case, people died. But you know that right now in the state of Washington, a juvenile has to have, is it 4 gun-related crimes before they get any kind of...
It's before they can be held for longer than 30 days.
Yes.
So everything
Which
else
is
is under 30
ludicrous.
days. So and that's why when I think about public officials I'd love to hear from during this time, I think of the legislature. Like many times we're debating issues that are state laws. These are the people who are creating the laws. We should be hearing from them during these moments, right?
Well,
it's like they go away to Olympia and then they disappear, and all these repercussions happen as a result of the laws that were created. And I'm not giving a major opinion on the 30-day rule, but for me,
I am.
It just seems like if I'm an older gang member, I'd make the younger person do it.
Yeah, somehow the word's gotten out that the time is not that serious should you have a gun-related
Under
crime.
30 days. I mean, and obviously if you do something like you shoot someone, that's different. But
Right.
you don't catch the small ones that might lead to an intervention, a meaningful intervention.
Exactly. Okay, well, since Sunday's mass shooting, there has been a lot of criticism about the lack of communication in the hours after this horrific crime. After waiting 5 hours to hear any information, a Como News reporter asked an SPD employee on Sunday night what was going on.
Ryan, what's the deal, man?
So, buddy, we got other dignitaries that want to be here.
Well, we have the public that wants an answer about what's going on. I mean, that is not on you. But to tell the public that we are waiting for dignitaries to give us an answer is absolutely outrageous. The information and the stakeholders are right there. And we are right here, and there are a lot of people who want answers.
And you are correct with that.
So the dignitaries, excuse me, they can come talk to us after.
The thing that I want to do is I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to speak here. And there are dignitaries that want to give information as well. So that's the reason why I want to have everybody speak.
Okay, so we come to find out that it was Governor Bob Ferguson, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, who were part of the press conference with Katie Wilson. And now the mayor is saying all 3 of them were actually waiting together at another location while police cleared the nearby IMAX theater because there were reports that one of the suspects might be inside. So the mayor says once SPD approved the briefing, she insists that she, Ferguson, and Jayapal arrived within minutes.
Yeah. So what are you wanting me to react to?
Yes, I'm calling BS on this. I believe the person who said we're waiting for the dignitaries.
They were waiting for the dignitary. So you think they're, yeah.
Absolutely. There's no way that after 3 people are shot and killed, after there is a shooting at one of the most iconic events in Seattle at a very busy time, people are freaked out and running for their lives, that there should be there's no information for and SPD often will give updates, whether it's even on
Twitter
and
all that,
exactly,
X or whatever you call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On social media, just updates like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. But to have a void of information during one of the most horrific crimes in a long time in the city?
Yeah, we have a couple of problems. Number one, a communication problem. I was out of town and I'm watching the news conference, and the news conference ends, and I still don't know if we're searching for a second suspect. And I was like, this is a problem.
Yes.
This is like the whole news conference has ended. Jayapal's there, Ferguson's there, Mayor's there, and I still don't know if I should be looking for a second, if I should be nervous because someone else is out there. And that wasn't clear. Number one, it should not take 5 hours to get an official comment. Well, it sounds like they did come out with something and had to reframe it, but it's a bad look. And here's the deal. I'm watching CNN because I'm out of town, right? I can't see the local coverage unless I stream it. I'm watching CNN, and I have to imagine they knew they'd be on national television, and they were.
Yes, and then what did they offer when they finally said something?
Well, I would just say it creates motive, right? It creates motive to want to be.
But they weren't needed there. SPD could have held.
It was a show of
conference.
support. It was a show of support, Ursula.
Yeah, but that
very final question though. 2 days later, right? 2.5 days later, we found out there's a third suspect from court docs. Have any of you heard of a suspect description yet?
No. We're still waiting for a suspect description. Yep. Yeah, I think that this was just bungled. It was a clown show. But there's one aspect we haven't touched on, and we're going to do it in the 10 o'clock hour.
Okay, that sounds good.
Because Seattle's police chief is in the middle of a firestorm as well. And there's a lot of questions now about where he spends his weekends and why he wasn't at the initial news conference, and then a confrontation that he had with a journalist. So we'll get into that. How about we say we'll do it in the 10 o'clock hour?
That sounds great.
Okay, but coming up next, we're going to be talking about food and food safety. Stay with us.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
So, what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Lawmakers and other notable dignitaries are paying their respects to Senator Lindsey Graham, who died 2 weeks ago at the age of 71. Graham's coffin is in the Capitol Rotunda before a funeral service at the National Cathedral today. Vice President J.D. Vance said Graham was someone who loved everyone.
But he would walk into the United States Senate and he would slap you on the back. He would greet the person who served his food. He treated everybody the same because he was fascinated and he loved every single person in this chamber. And that's a great testament to the man.
Here in Washington, the head of Seattle's police union is criticizing Mayor Katie Wilson's office for mishandling the aftermath of Sunday's mass shooting. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Police Officer Guild President Kent Liu tells Seattle Red SPD was ready to go with information moments after Sunday's mass shooting.
For being honest, when the mayor's office stepped into it, I think that's when kind of this mishandling happened.
Mayor Wilson denies she delayed Sunday night's news conference so Governor Bob Ferguson and Representative Pramila Jayapal could appear, even though Seattle police said the briefing was postponed because other dignitaries wanted to be there. City leaders also waited nearly 5 hours after the shooting to release information to the public, but did not disclose at least one suspected gunman remained at large. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Police now say the shooting was gang-related and that the 19-year-old killed in the shooting and a 15-year-old arrested at the scene were gang associates. The mayor will hold another press conference at noon today. It's a mixed financial bag for Boeing in the second quarter of 2026. The company reported an 8% increase in revenue over last year, but the bottom line is a $420 million loss. Boeing reported $24.6 billion in revenue in Q2 on increased commercial airplane deliveries. The company delivered over 300 jets during the quarter. The losses are attributed to delays in the new Air Force One and the tanker program. Several Seattle beaches are set to reopen today. Seattle Parks and Recreation is treating invasive aquatic weeds at Matthews Park, Pritchard Island Beach, and Stan Sayer Pits and Seward Beach. The beaches will reopen at noon. And now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. It's about an hour and 40 still from Everett to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue, about 40 minutes. It's going to take you at least 50 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. The Valley Freeway, about 45 minutes. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio. For your forecast, after some morning clouds, expect afternoon sun today through Thursday with temperatures warming into the upper 70s. Right now, it's about 62 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. Coming up at 9:47. I look forward to hearing your story, Angela, because you were recently in the Deep South, you said, and you experienced something that you would like to share, and you have a general question
Blew
about.
my mind, and I'm from there. I'm from the Deep South, and my mind was still blown. I'm excited to talk about it at 9:47.
Yes, exactly. But right now, we want to talk about, is it time to start growing our own food? Now,
Yes.
why is this a question?
Oh, listen, I went to my husband last night. I was like, we have to do this. And he looked at me like I was crazy. But I'm asking this question because I got some kind of illness, gastrointestinal illness. Been going on for several days. But the issue for me isn't the illness itself, but this trend in food safety and the predictions from experts that our problems could get worse. Consider this, since the Doge movement, remember that?
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're cutting, okay. And not only the cutting, because in some cases, firings, people reinstated, but remember, they were encouraged to resign, leave.
Right.
So because of the resignations, retirements that followed, the FDA lost about 20% of its staff. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention down 25%. According to a CBS News report, an advisory committee that would work with counterparts in Mexico on how to improve food safety let go. Additionally, 1 year ago, a huge change to something called FoodNet. It's this federal state partnership in 10 states that monitors for foodborne illness. Well, for years, they had been tracking 8 pathogens. Now, they only track 2, Salmonella and Shiga toxin-producing E. coli. I forgive me for mispronouncing that. Well, one of the 6 that they no longer track is Cyclospora, the one we've been hearing about.
Right.
Yeah. The parasite that has made more than 4,000 people sick across 9 states, and those are the ones health officials know about. Now, I want to be clear about one thing. FoodNet wouldn't have prevented this as they don't detect the outbreaks, but they do look at trends. So some experts say had this been in effect, it's possible we would have known about the outbreak sooner. And of course, none of this prevents states from doing their own testing and surveillance, of course. So I guess the bottom line for me is I'm not liking the way we're trending. And because we've made all of these changes that doesn't seem to have made us safer. Is it time that we take matters into our own hands?
And what would that look like? Because I am at the mercy of different restaurants and different stores where I buy my food. I don't even grow a tomato in my backyard. I am not a green thumb. I envy those who will have a pea patch somewhere or, show me their herb gardens. And
my neighbor's got all this stuff growing.
And that and the other thing. And that's not me.
Yeah.
So I am at the mercy of where I will buy my food or where I'll go to eat. But I will say that it seems like more and more people are dealing with stomach issues. You said, well, I don't know what it is.
Oh, it's true. I actually did some research, and we are absolutely trending upwards. When I compared us to 2023, 2024, and believe it or not, the uptick actually started in 2018. We started seeing an increase, and then the CDC changed how it reports these things. I want to say this was even before the Trump administration. It changed the reporting tool, so hard to compare. But even with those things in play, if you account for the change, we are still in an upward tick, and the staffing shortages has only made it worse. So we've got to do something to interrupt this, and if we're going to be serious about stopping the foodborne illness, because you asked the question,
yes,
what does it look like
if
you're not a green thumb? For me, it's finding the small grocery store. Like I think about, I'm not saying this because isn't Wilcox part of our?
Yes.
Yeah, Wilcox. I mean, like they're a local. So with the whole egg thing going on, I kind of have looked at Wilcox and small farmers around there.
Ones you trust.
But when I go out, I'm hesitant to eat certain. You haven't noticed when you go out, people are a little more hesitant to eat salad or fresh. Okay, you've been in.
I've seen pictures of the produce aisle with the bagged lettuces, and it's all on discount because people haven't been buying it.
The eggs were on discount. There were eggs at PCC yesterday for $3.99. $3.99.
It's normally $8.
Yes,
minimum.
I mean, okay, but can I just fess up? Even with this Cyclospora, this parasite. And people were asking me, like, every time there's some kind of outbreak on a cruise, people, are you going to stop cruising? Well, no, because so far, so good, knock, knock, knock. But I didn't stop eating salads.
Well, I don't know. All I can tell you is someone who's going through it, once you go through it, you're like, I'm
this
good.
Is true.
You question everything, right?
This is true. That's just it. Until I physically go through something like that, then it's like, okay, I get it. I totally get it.
I love the idea of growing our own food, but I'll tell you, I garden and I grow great flowers, but to grow a meaningful amount of food that can effectively feed your family is incredibly difficult, even if you have a little bit of land. Like just figuring out, even growing enough peas so that I have an excess to freeze for my family, and I have peas going in 6 locations. It's difficult. It's difficult to do on your own land. I think what we can do, though, is demand effective governance.
Yes.
I mean, from both parties. And if we're paying for the FDA, I don't recall getting any sort of like an FDA DOJ rebate check that said, hey, we cut all the food safety regulators. Here's some cash back for you.
Oh my God, can I just get an amen to that? Like, you're right. What were the result of all these cuts in terms, like, was anything done to help us, like the regular people, since we saved all this money?
We didn't save any money.
Well, that's just
that was the whole point.
It kind of got out of the headlines, and then, we're on to something else.
Crippled regulation, though, which is great for businesses who want to, like, dump toxins in rivers and such.
Oh, my God. Can I just brag for a minute? When I was down at the family reunion, I met a relative who actually runs his own farm. And when I say farm, I'm talking like
legit.
Acres and acres of like all the cells.
That's really cool.
And he retired from his job of 30 years, and that's what he does. He spends his days out.
Well, text us, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. How confident are you in our food? Have you changed the way you eat given when we do have some outbreaks like this particular one that we were talking about with the parasite? 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Coming up at 9:47, we need to talk about some good Southern hospitality. And is this something that we can learn from up here in the Pacific Northwest? Angela will share that story coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Reutin from the Gee and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the Gee and Ursula YouTube channel.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk, Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word. It was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But aging has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why there's Longevity Medical Clinic. John Curley here. My best move was becoming a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic years ago, and second best move, getting my wife Nicole to join me this year. Stop guessing and start working with a doctor who knows your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than and online and at the club?
I know. Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Summer is for sunshine.
It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Summer is for moonshots.
He just absolutely obliterates this! Multi-homer game, Cole Young!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Emerson is racing over, slides up! He makes the catch! Incredible!
So listen for the cheers and follow your ears to T-Mobile Park. Because where else can you travel to on a ferry boat and then eat crab nachos out of a ferry boat?
How sweet it is!
It is the sweetest, Rick. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
The Mariners are back in town this Friday, and the fun gets started with 50 Seasons Fireworks Night, presented by T-Mobile. Then don't miss Aloha Shirt Day Saturday, presented by Fred Meyer, and Super Mario Day Sunday, featuring a Julio Rodriguez bobblehead giveaway. Thanks to Nintendo. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO Newsradio is giving you a shot at 4 tickets to see the Seahawks in their preseason home opener, Saturday, August 15th.
To enter, open the KIRO Newsradio app or visit mynorthwest.com/win for details.
You can enter once per day, so the more you enter, the better your chances.
Enter daily from July 28th through August 3rd.
Full details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win.
That's mynorthwest.com/win.
It is 9:47, and you're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is off today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and I want to hear about this because you just were charmed while visiting the South.
Yes, and we need to talk. I'm just wondering, do we need to kind of bring a little of that Southern charm here to the Pacific Northwest? I am from the Deep South, Pensacola, Florida, and I was still blown away by what I observed while in Dallas, Texas. And the biggest story I will tell you is that we were driving from Shreveport, Louisiana to Dallas. So I want to say it was in Longview, Texas. And I was pumping gas and my mom was walking into a barbecue place. And while she was walking there, she stepped in gum. And this guy sees what happens. And he runs over to my mom, takes her shoe off, gets the gum off of the shoe, then goes to find water to clean the shoe. This is a stranger. And then brings the shoe because she couldn't bend down, and I was trying to get there. But yeah, he did all this. But when I finally got there, he was bringing the shoe back and had cleaned it all up and put it back on her foot.
Okay, I love that story. And it's one of those chivalry's not dead kind of thing. Like, okay, how sweet is that he saw something like that and did it? Now, what makes you think that that's totally a Southern hospitality or something about the South?
Because that wasn't the only thing.
Okay, that's
everywhere
what I wanna know.
we went, people would make, no matter how slow we were or if we were far away, we are going to hold this door open for you. Like we are going to, and I mean all ethnicities from white to Latino to Indian. It was part of the culture there. And they would stand, these were the gentlemen, they would stand there and they would wait until you went through. And I remember talking about this with my daughter over dinner, and she goes, yeah, here, if you did that, the women would get mad at you, saying, I don't need you to open my door.
Now, do you think that's actually true?
I don't know.
I hear that, but I don't know if that's ever happened in real life to people.
Because I think that is a rare thing. And I think that's one of those sweeping statements, stereotypes about, you
can't even.
In the Pacific Northwest, we're all woke and we don't agree with a gentleman being a gentleman. I tried to raise both boys. One's really a lot better at it than the other, and we joke about that. But I raised both of them. I said, chivalry is not dead. I think women in general are really going to appreciate when you open the door, if you stand or if you walk, when you're walking along the street on the sidewalk, you be on the outer side so that you kind of are protecting them from the traffic. And I don't think that women are going to take offense to that.
Yeah.
We also want to be paid equally. Don't be mistaken for that, that whole thing. But when it comes to a gentleman being a gentleman, we still appreciate that.
I think so in general, too. And one other thing that happened, because I want to talk about the women. Yeah. How often does this happen? See, when I was growing up, I worked at Popeye's Chicken. And if we made a mistake, we made it right. So I forgot this. I'm going to add this to your order to make it right.
Amen.
That never happens to me. Like, people could get something totally wrong and they don't offer anything. It's like, oh, sorry, if you get a sorry. And this lady, they had messed up something with the hotel. And she was like, I'm so sorry. Here's a pint of ice cream. And I'm just like, I don't ever get that here.
Well, at fast food places I can get. But like even when you're dining out, like at a real sit-down restaurant, I mean, it's pretty standard from my hospitality background. Like if you mess something up, here's a glass of champagne while you wait.
Fine dining. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty common. They'll bring, let me swap this out. But I'm just like, just the random business.
Yes.
It's just, there's just a culture of not speaking and So you feel like we're friendly enough here.
Oh, definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay, Tacoma agrees, actually. Angela says, you're right. It does happen here. And I'd be like, okay, never again.
Okay, so the person rejecting the kind move of opening a door, the chivalry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, and I do love the Southern hospitality. I mean, that's absolutely a cultural thing. I have relatives who live in Tennessee, and just even how they talk and how everyone is so friendly. And we always get knocked for having that whole passive aggressive, we don't mean it when we say, I'd like to get together. We don't actually pin down a date.
Yep.
Do you think that is accurately described, though, in the whole chill, the Northwest chill, or what's
Seattle freeze?
Seattle freeze.
I just feel like we can get a little extreme with things. And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So B and Puyallup just said, when I call a woman ma'am, most of them get mad.
No.
And I remember when that happened with the lawmaker, this military person was speaking to, I think it was a member of Congress, and she's like, I am not ma'am. Do not call me ma'am. So let me give you an example. When I first moved here, someone called me gal.
Gal?
And and I was really offended, like in my mind, because where I'm from, calling a black woman gal is like calling a black man a boy. Like that was, but then I realized that a lot of the culture here, they use the word gal, all like seagulls. I mean, that word gal is not meant. So I think sometimes we get so bent out of shape. But in that context, that man was not trying to offend me. His culture was that gal was not an offensive term. It was a term of endearment. And we just get a little too in our stitches about things.
Yes.
And
see, I love, okay. And I think you bring up great points. 253 just texted in and said, it's true. The people in the South are way more polite. Everyone here is hacked off. I'm using a different word. No one has any manners here. Is this true? On the east side of the state, they are friendly. Oh, here we go. Democrats are naturally rude.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Come on, guys.
Oh, that's right. This is the same person who says Dems have ruined this state. Okay. Okay, wait.
You know what?
I don't think it's
really
assigned
rude
to a
is
political...
casting aspersions on entire swaths of society.
I know. I know, which I naturally hate.
Lori says it's happened to her husband, so he's afraid to open a door for a woman now.
Oh, I say don't be afraid.
Oh, my, this is so sad.
It is sad.
I hold doors open for everybody.
It's just polite.
Like if I'm leaving and there's someone coming, I hold it open for men. Like it's not a gender thing. It's just human kindness.
Okay, keep texting us because now we woke you all up. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. So I guess the questions are, is the Seattle freeze real? And which we ask pretty much on a regular basis on this show. Do you think it's still very much a thing? And tell me how it shows up. And then the other thing is, could we use a little more Southern hospitality here?
So,
do you still like it when someone opens the door for you?
Yeah, or
Because I do.
There has to be some kind of downside to the South, though, because you're just painting this rosy picture.
What I heard is that it's a culture of honor. And with it being a culture, this is because I was researching this, and with a culture of honor can be this double-edged sword of being maybe more offended by certain things that,
yeah. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, text us. We'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
You know, I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments. Clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Gee and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When you see this in your kitchen,
The stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves, or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250. Say Mike Rowe and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250. Say Mike Rowe and let the savings begin.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. On Capitol Hill, late Senator Lindsey Graham lies in state in the rotunda with fellow lawmakers, friends, and family and dignitaries paying their respects today. GOP Senate leader John Thune at a ceremony called him a friend and a fierce advocate of global allies, including Israel and Ukraine.
Lindsey was a towering figure here in the Senate and on the international stage. His leadership on national security and our national defense is well known. I traveled with Lindsey all over the world as part of congressional delegations, and I saw firsthand just how much he was respected by our allies.
Graham's funeral this afternoon, held at the National Cathedral. President Trump will deliver the eulogy. Consumer confidence slid this month, with U.S. and Iran hostilities fueling concerns over gas prices and stubborn inflation. Cleanup continues in hard-hit Wisconsin after powerful tornadoes ripped through the town of Menasha. This is ABC News. Singer Ariana Grande is suing dozens of hackers for allegedly leaking her previously unreleased music and personal information for profit. Here's ABC's Hannah Patah.
The lawsuit claims the unnamed suspects hacked into various personal digital accounts of photographers and producers who have worked closely with Grande, leading to the unlawful and egregious theft, dissemination, and exploitation of unreleased content. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles names John Doe 1 and John Does 2 through 100 as defendants, accusing them of invasion of privacy and violating a California data theft law.
Walmart held the title for 12 consecutive years, but it's no longer the biggest company in the world.
At least not according to the Fortune Global 500 ranking released this morning. Amazon is number one this year, with revenue surging 12% and surpassing $700 billion.
ABC's Jim Ryan. No grand prize winner in Powerball last night. That means tomorrow night's drawing will be worth at least $663 million. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot up to $800 million. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Seattle police are searching for a third suspect after Sunday's mass shooting. More on that, but first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. Drivers are finally getting some relief. It's about 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue, an improvement. 22 minutes, that's down from at least a half an hour earlier. It's about 30 minutes Federal Way to Seattle. Valley Freeway is clear. It'll take you at least 35 minutes. This traffic report is brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. On the heels of Sunday's mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle, Mayor Katie Wilson doesn't seem to have the full confidence from the city council. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it also appears she's not on the same page with Seattle police over surveillance footage.
At a press conference, Chief Sean Barnes said he wasn't sure.
I do not know if we have video of it.
Then Mayor Wilson said they were already reviewing video.
I've been told that Seattle Center does have cameras.
And now City Council member Maritza Rivera is publicly urging Mayor Katie Wilson to embrace tougher anti-gun violence strategies, but claims she's been non-committal about partnering so far. Councilmember Bob Kettle is also pressing the mayor to work with the council on public safety. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Investigators say a 19-year-old man killed in the shooting was one of the gunmen, and a 15-year-old arrested at the scene was his associate. The mayor will hold another press conference at noon today. We're learning a new leader is taking over Seattle's Office of Housing. This morning, Mayor Wilson announced the appointment of Kelly Larson, who'll begin serving as director tomorrow. Larson has spent nearly 20 years working in affordable housing, including the past 5 years as the office's policy and planning director. As Seattle police continue investigating Sunday's deadly shooting, some vendors say they've suffered another blow after the chaos. They fled their booths as gunfire erupted, leaving behind cash, merchandise, and personal belongings. When they were allowed to return yesterday, several discovered items had been stolen. This business owner tells KIRO 7 TV.
With all the different vendors I see here, even if they're in-state, out-of-state, they pour their heart and soul into having a small business, and this is really what makes or breaks it for them.
The shooting killed 3 people and injured 4 others. The U.S. Department of Education is investigating school districts in Washington and Colorado over allegations involving parental rights and Title IX protections. The department says the investigations will examine whether districts are complying with federal laws, including rules involving student privacy and sex-based discrimination. Earlier this year, Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swink opened an investigation at Graham Kapowskin High School after vials of what appeared to be testosterone showed up at an LGBTQ Pride Month display. He told the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 7:70 a.m. deputies seized the vials for testing.
The purpose for police involvement is, if this is truly testosterone, that's a controlled substance. A, you have to have a prescription for it. B, you can't give it out to people.
In Washington, the districts involved have not been found in violation, and the reviews are ongoing. Now to your forecast. A few clouds and possible showers today will give way to warmer and sunnier weather later this week. Right now, it's about 65 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
We are in our second hour, and we have guests. We have a lot of information to get to. Another packed hour coming up at 10:30. Okay, we're going to have a little fun, though. We're always going to squeeze a little fun in.
Love
because
that.
If you've been in a long-term relationship, how well do you know your partner? When was the last time you asked them questions about what they really think about XYZ or what they want for your future together? And I ask this because there is... Maybe, is it new research or therapists are
There's
just saying
an article that came out
yes.
that kind of pointed to a key thing that may actually help.
Yes.
That we kind of make some assumptions in our relationships.
Correct.
That are harming them.
Oh, correct. Right. Okay, so we will have that conversation coming up. 888-973-5476, 888-973. KIRO is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Let's get to it.
What's new at 10?
And as we've been reporting on Sunday, 3 people were killed. Several others were wounded when gunfire erupted during the Bite of Seattle at Seattle Center. And now police are saying they believe gang members were shooting at one another as thousands of festival goers scrambled to escape. And Justin Smith was one of them. When bullets started flying, he hit record while he was running away.
Machine gun just went off. Bite of Seattle. Oh my God.
Come, David.
Get the heck out of here. Whoa.
And Justin joins us now live on the Gee and Ursula Show. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, I'm glad you're safe. And
thank you so much.
Take us back to that moment and tell us, what did you see? What did you hear?
First of all, I want to say prayers for all the families and the victims. You know, the impact that I have had is very small and minuscule in comparison to those others. So if you could repeat your question.
What were you seeing? What were you doing? And what did you see and what did you hear when the bullets started flying?
So you've probably been there and you've seen the honeycombs, the big J honeycombs. You probably, the viral video shows the guy's making a video about his subscribers, and he's in the tent, and then they said gunshots and then they started running. I was in that line, and I was with, 50 other people waiting. It's about 20, 30 minute wait. So I was just in line. And you start talking to people online, as you do, when you've been there for a while. And these 2 sisters, I was talking to them, and all of a sudden we heard, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. It sounds like fireworks. So I looked to my right, down the corridor, when I saw the second round of gunfire. Well, we now know is gunfire. And it was a flashbang. You could see it coming from a device. I couldn't see the person, but because there's a couple hundred people between us. But at that point, we knew it was gunfire. And I said, run. And that's when we started running. It was towards right behind me where we were at on that corner. I just walked through there earlier. I thought it was funny because I saw this guy's like sleeping. There's kids screaming around, having fun, having a good time playing. It's like a kid's area. And this guy was sitting on the bench just asleep. And so I thought it was really funny. So I kind of did a little quick video of that. I said, it's a very a very quiet moment here, besides kids screaming here at the Bite of Seattle. And then not an hour later, the shooting happened. So it was kind of surreal. But as I was running through that area, a kid had fell down running. And so I picked him up. It was just really weird. I was just reacting in the moment. The two girls are with me. She dropped her shoe. She was wearing slippers. She tried to go back for it. I told her no, but she insisted. And then she started running barefoot, and we just got out of there. We ran for about 4 blocks straight. And once we'd slowed down running, I started jogging is when I pulled my phone out. But I was listening at that point for additional gunshots. I was like, did they get the guy, right? Is there going to be another gunshot where they immobilize the perpetrator? But at this point, we don't really know what's going on. I mean, we don't know. I mean, you watch the Vegas shootings, you've seen these guys up on a perch where they're hitting people as they're exiting. So you think you're still a target at any moment. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who it's from. If the guy's walking around with a machine gun, you don't know if it's an AR. You don't know what's happening, if it's a clip, a banana clip. And so it was very surreal in the moment. You're at a heightened sense of awareness. It was just really crazy. Pure pandemonium, just people screaming and yelling and running.
Traumatic, for sure. Since that day, I don't know if you've been following it, but there's been so much news coverage addressing so many things. How long it took to get information, and the fact that how young the suspects are. What is it that you want from our elected officials right now? Like, what's top of mind for you, having been there and experienced this?
I mean, I know that fear is something that we don't want to live in. And we're expected when we come into a public space, we're taking risk. And when I walked in that day, I knew I was taking a risk because it felt very risky. Just being there, it felt like something bad could happen because you see the news reports. You see all these things when there's a lot of people walking into an area, a big group. That's a perfect scenario for somebody to do something bad because there wasn't security. Obviously, nobody's going to come into a Mariners game or a Seahawks game with an AR or a gun, right? Because there's so many security measures. They would be stopped by somebody before they came into that big crowd of people. But this kind of environment, they don't have that security. And so in the future, I foresee things changing. Obviously, our elected officials, they're probably going to have to do something different. The cost of putting this event on is going to have to go up, obviously, because they're going to have some kind of, I'm guessing, either ticketed or, they're going to have to block off areas and put more fencing. And they're going to have general entry points through metal detectors. I mean, there's no other way to go about it, because if they don't do that and something bad happens again, there's going to be lawsuits like crazy. And it's all about, protecting, right, the public and also their wallets at the end of the day, right? And so they don't want a big, $100 million lawsuit because they didn't protect the public. So I can see something in the future happening like that.
We are talking to Justin Smith, who was at Seattle Center at the Bite of Seattle when the gunfire erupted. Now that you've had time to process it, what stays with you the most of what you went through? And again, you've said it very well. I mean, your mind and your heart are with the victims. But there are other things that you probably took away from or are sticking with you that you keep going over and over in your head.
Yeah, the thing that stuck with me the most is PTSD. I have it on a very small scale where the night that it happened, afterwards, I always keep a gun by my bed, but it's not loaded, just for home invasions. And then that night, I definitely loaded that gun and I couldn't sleep. And so I worked closely with veterans currently with a nonprofit called missionoutdoors.org. And there's 22 veteran suicides per day in the U.S., and they've seen things on a big scale. They've seen a lot of people die in a short time, and those veterans are the ones that are dealing with it on a large scale. And that's why we're losing so many people to PTSD. It's because when you isolate yourself, you turn to drugs and alcohol, and a lot of times suicide. And I lost a customer. I work at Toyota. We lost a customer Saturday. Her husband wasn't here when she came back to pick up her car because he committed suicide last week and left 4 kids and his wife. And he'd been in the military for 13 years. It's happening every single day. It's real. PTSD is real. And these shootings that are happening, people are having real PTSD from it. Mine's a small scale in comparison to, it's minute. End of the day, that flag means a lot. And the people that have died for our freedoms to be able to put these events on and be able to have the freedoms that we have. I mean, look what Kim Jong just said from North Korea. They won the World Cup for the 74th time in a row because people believe it, because they don't live in a free country. They don't know what freedom is. We have freedom here in the U.S., and we have to take care of our veterans and the people that have experienced the same thing I've experienced on a small scale.
Justin, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your experience, and please take care.
I appreciate you guys. God bless.
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
Wow.
And I think it was so important that we've had so many conversations and news the last few days, and it's so important what we center the voices of the people directly impacted.
Yes.
To see what questions they have.
Yes.
See what their experience of this is. And it's interesting because we were debating what should happen going forward, and it was clear his expectation is you have to do something different from a security perspective.
Yeah, and he said going to the Bite of Seattle, you and I have been there. We were talking on Friday about the Bite, and it's been a couple of years since I've been, but I've been many, many, many years.
Same.
And it's a great festival. I don't like some of the changes that have happened in terms of bringing out of area vendors, and now it's big meals instead of little. But safety and security is paramount. And now people will always have that idea of like, well, you know, I am taking a risk. Imagine, you know, every time I am taking a risk, is this a risk I'm willing to take? It will be interesting to see what kind of safety precautions they put in, if anything, in light of what has happened.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think something has to be done. And we got a text from someone saying that the Bite of Seattle used to be gated. And I would love to get that confirmed if it was before. But
yeah,
I know one reason.
Puyallup says the Taste of Tacoma was moved to the Puyallup Fairgrounds, and there are metal detectors and bag searches. I remember when the Taste of Tacoma first started, and it was out in a field, and it wasn't a festival, and there was no security like that. So, I mean, if there's a will, there's a way, but is it going to change the flavor and the atmosphere of
I think
an event
it's going to enhance us. We did great with FIFA and the security measures. Yes. I had a great time.
With all sensitivity to Justin, and, you know, anyone who's had that experience, of course, that's what you would want. But it's not necessarily the venue that is the issue here, right? Because if you're looking at a gang problem, these people could run into each other anywhere in public, not necessarily the Bite of Seattle. You know, it could have been in the parking lot of a Safeway. You know, it could be at a local park. Right. Because this was not a target. This was not a situation where you had a mass shooter who was targeting civilians looking for a large event in order to have that attack happen. It was a chance encounter.
It was in people who were able to go into a very crowded area with very little security
and take out a personal beef.
A personal beef because they were able to bring in weapons, which they probably shouldn't have had those weapons.
It would be irresponsible to do nothing from here.
Yes.
There are better security measures that could be implemented.
Another controversy, though, Angela, swirling around the shooting centers on Police Chief Sean Barnes and where he spends his weekends. So Barnes was not at the first news conference on Sunday night, so a journalist asked about it during Monday morning's briefing.
Were you in town yesterday?
I was not in town yesterday. I wish that I had a crystal ball and we could schedule gun violence, but we can't. Yesterday, I was in Dallas at the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives Conference. It's their 50th anniversary. At that conference, 2 members from our community were being honored. One of our pastors was given an award for his work in the community, and one of our officers, one of our CSOs, was given an award, and I wanted to be there for that. That's why I was not here.
Okay, so that answer, though, okay, well, you're reacting already. I see in your face.
Oh, no, I'm just saying it seems like a reasonable thing that he'd be gone to do that.
Okay, yes. But the answer did not end the questions, and there's a reason why. But after the news conference, journalist Connor Nash pressed Chief Barnes again, and it led to this testy exchange.
I have been here working as hard as I can for this city from the day I got here. You got that?
But there are reports that you are not in town often.
Their reports are wrong. Do you understand? Let's go, man. Let's go. You understand?
So when
I work. Let's go. Thank you.
So for context, Publicola is reporting that Chief Barnes continues to rent in Seattle while his wife and children live full-time in the Chicago area. The chief has not confirmed that, but it is a similar living arrangement that he maintained during his 4 years as police chief in Madison, Wisconsin, something that Barnes personally confirmed at that time. And so first I want to ask just your reaction to his reaction to these questions. And then a bigger question would be, should a police chief live in the area that he or she serves full time?
In light of this tragedy, this just where he lives isn't my focus. I've actually been confused by the focus on this, the hyper focus on it. So I would say, number one, that is puzzling to me. Number two, I do think ideally that not only should the police chief live in the town they're working, but I have the controversial opinion that I think officers should be required to live in the city where they work, with the caveat that the city has to support it with grants to be able to afford housing. So I just think that officers will be more invested and will know the community better if they live in it. And I think we need to put our money where our mouth is on the topic. It's not unprecedented. I think the third thing I would say about it, just putting myself in their shoes, let's look at our record of police chiefs. Going back, Gil Kurlikowski, remember him? Many years. I want to say that was that year 2000? That was the longest chief we've had, and it's been a long time, 8 years. John Diaz, 4 years. Kathleen O'Toole, 3.5 years. Carmen Best, 2 years. Chief Diaz, 2 years. I mean, so if you're asking me to uproot my family to come to a city where you can't seem to keep a police chief, or, you know, and then you had the mayor that hired him was up for re-election, and we know how that goes, where they likely will find a new person. I don't know that I would uproot my family immediately. I mean, I do think eventually if things are going well, you can make the transition. But in his position, I don't know that I would say, okay, uproot 3 kids and the spouse when the person that's hiring me is up for re-election in 6 months? And your record is you can't keep a chief longer than, 3 years in recent memory.
Right. I mean, I want to preface this by saying, I think Police Chief Sean Barnes is one of the best police chiefs we've had in a very long time for the reasons that you just gave. I will also say that I don't think he handled that well.
Yeah. Oh, in terms of the interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, but he immediately became defensive when asked about it. And I think that there is a way to answer the question. And if you are, in fact, and we don't know this because he hasn't confirmed it, but if that's within the contract that he had signed with then Mayor Harrell and Katie Wilson has agreed to this, if that is the arrangement, then let us know that's the arrangement. I mean, that is something that because his family didn't want to move, he's going to do the job, 5 days a week. I don't think that's ideal. I don't think that's great for a city. I don't think that's great for a city that has had the issues that it's had with its police chiefs. And so, again, I think he's great, but that would be one of those where I'm like, no, I think the police chief should be living full time in the area where he serves.
Absolutely, but let's look at it from if you're wanting a highly sought after law enforcement professional, and you look at our record in Seattle of police chiefs, and you want to recruit them to come here, please uproot your family. Because someone said, well, don't apply for the job. Well, just think of yourself as the recruiter. How am I going to get the best people here if we don't offer them some sense of stability? And so I'm not defending the way he responded, but I am defending that we have to have a good value proposition. And don't know. But I just think the focus on this is fascinating.
Well, and I intentionally tried to make it not the because it became a hyper focus. And I will say that I think some of the criticism is warranted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the exchange that he had with that journalist who doesn't want to be become the story, he said, please focus on the victims. But I think that does show that he's defensive about something that just answer the question.
Yeah.
Put it out in the open.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people would understand.
Exactly.
If you manage that. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. It's a better way to manage it, for sure. Okay, still ahead, how well do you know your longtime partner? And what kind of questions should you be asking at this juncture of your relationship? We'll have that conversation coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself. And Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Holy smokes, I can see. Hey, everybody, it's Rick Riz. And I just had refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision, and it's amazing. K2 Vision RLE means no more readers or glasses for me. Plus, I'll never get a cataract. Now, when I call a game, you won't see those readers dangling from the end of my nose to see the field and then my notes. I only wish I had done it sooner. It's like seeing a whole new ball game. K2 Vision RLE was quick and painless, over in just minutes, and I knew I was in great hands. The K2 Vision RLE team has done over 150,000 lens procedures. You can trust their stuff. K2 Vision RLE is my permanent solution to a lifetime of great vision. It could be yours too. Enjoy life's good years without readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Get your free Zoom consult now at K2VisionRLE.com. Then you can make the same call I did. Goodbye, glasses. K2VisionRLE.com.
Joe Fallon did something smart.
He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Seattle police now believe Sunday night's deadly mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle was a gunfight between rival gangs. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the latest.
Assistant Police Chief Nicole Powell says a 19-year-old man, one of 3 killed in the shooting, was one of the gunmen, and a 15-year-old arrested at the scene was his gang associate.
There were 2 groups firing in the area near the armory during the Bite of Seattle. We believe 2 of the individuals were associates with each other.
All 4 people injured are now back home, including a 2-year-old boy. Police are reviewing footage from private cameras at Seattle Center. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The head of Seattle's police union is criticizing Mayor Katie Wilson's office for the mishandling of the aftermath of Sunday's mass shooting. Police Officers Guild President Kent Liu tells Seattle Red SPD was ready to go with information moments after the shooting, but the mayor's office had delayed things.
For being honest, when the mayor's office stepped into it, I think that's when kind of this mishandling happened. You know, the delay in press conference, I do think there's more to the story about waiting for dignitaries.
Mayor Wilson denies that she delayed Sunday night's cruise news conference so Governor Bob Ferguson and Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal could appear, even though Seattle police said the briefing was postponed because of other dignitaries that wanted to be there. City leaders also waited nearly 5 hours after the shooting to release information to the public, but did not disclose at least one suspect gunman remained at large. Police now say the shooting was gang-related and that the 19-year-old killed in the shooting and a 15-year-old arrested at the scene were gang associates. It's a mixed financial bag for Boeing in the second quarter of this year. The company reported an 8% increase in revenue over last year, but the bottom line is over $400 million in losses. Boeing reported $24.6 billion in revenue in Q2 on increased commercial airplane deliveries. The company delivered 314 jets during the quarter. The losses, though, are attributed to delays in new Air Force One program and the Tanker program. Several Seattle beaches are moments away from opening. Seattle Parks and Recreation is treating invasive aquatic weeds at Matthews Park, Pritchard Island Beach, and Stan Sayers Pits and Seward Beach. The beaches will reopen at noon. And now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. That crash on southbound 405 is now finally cleared. It's about at least 35 minutes effort to Seattle. Rented to Bellevue, 35 minutes, 35 Federal Way to Seattle. The Valley Freeway is about 40 minutes right now. This traffic report is brought to you by the KIRO News Radio app. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. Now to your forecast. Sunshine is on the way today. We've got some warm temperatures, not as hot as yesterday. We're staying cool in the low 70s. Right now, it's about 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy y'all are with us on this Tuesday morning. Text us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. I have a funny feeling y'all are going to want to weigh in on this because, Angela, you are going to talk about the secret to a long and happy marriage and what some researchers, or at least what a new article in the Washington Post is saying.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do it. And Okay, I did that thing again. Okay, I'm just going to be transparent with y'all where I forget how to do. Okay, I got it now. You know how you remove the edit lock on
I do.
It's the news boss that G talks about. He's trying to be the boss of me.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it is $1 million question. Like, what is the secret to a long and happy marriage? So this article came from the Washington Post, and it points to one simple thing. The key is staying curious about your partner. But what does that look like? Relationship experts say many couples assume they know everything, but the reality is people change and keep changing. Priorities shift, new interests develop, even their dreams evolve. The couples who stay close are the ones who stay curious, and research backs it up. One Harvard study found that asking thoughtful, specific questions increases feelings of closeness and intimacy. The trick, skip questions that invite one-word answers. Instead of how was your day, ask, what surprised you today? What was the hardest part of work? Or what were you looking forward to this week? And don't stop with the first answer. Experts say the real connection is the follow-up question. We know that in news, right?
Yes.
It's never the first question we ask the person. It's the follow-up to whatever they said. The goal isn't to discover some completely new person. It's to keep getting to know the person your partner is becoming. So, Ursula, does this resonate?
As someone who has been married for over 30 years, it's so funny because I shared with you during our morning meeting that just this last Sunday at brunch, I started asking Mark some questions just because we had some extra time. We were waiting for our food, and it had been a while since I'd asked something simple like about food. What would be that best last meal? What would you want your last meal to be? Would you be able to say that about your husband? Like you'd know exactly what he would want for the last meal? Because it changes.
Yeah, I think I would. I'm wondering if my recipe has surpassed what his mom would make him. Because I know the favorite meal from his mom.
Okay.
And I know his favorite meal from me. And so I'm wondering like.
Oh, I love that. Well, ask him.
Both.
But see,
He'll say both.
Yeah.
Good answer. But it's we're newly-ish married, right? 7 years, whereas I would imagine 30 years.
Yes. So there are things like, for example, retirement down the road. So what country would you consider ever living in if we weren't living in the U.S.? Well, that can change. I mean, he might have said something 10 years ago that it would be different today.
Yeah. Did Mark's answer at that dinner surprise you?
He went very specific. I thought he would love Italian food because anytime he gets a chance, because that's not my first go-to, that anytime he gets a chance, he'll pick something Italian. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, he would rather have a really good steak.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you learned something.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you learned something.
Yes, exactly. So, and then I always go Asian food. I love Asian food. So I was always thinking like it would be some kind of like maybe my mom's lumpia and pancit or whatever. And then I realized I'm kind of burning out on Asian food a little bit because I have it all the time. So I came up with some other thing. But bottom line is I love what this article is saying, which is don't assume that you already know, or don't ask a question that's just going to be, oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. So I guess the point in all this is that when we don't stay curious, we lose the novelty that keeps our relationships interesting. And is that how we get bored and
looking for something else where you're going to have that little spark someplace else?
Like I feel alive. It's like as you're getting to know someone.
Okay, so I recently had a conversation with someone who is, mid to late 70s, and they were talking about their partner, and they mentioned, like, I'm still finding out things about them. Like, how is that possible that after, like, 40 years, you're still learning something about your partner? Because, like, if you are genuinely communicating all the time and you talk a lot, like, don't you kind of plumb the depths over that? I mean, and it's not that you're uninterested in your partner. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I don't have that much going on personally because I figure like she's probably plumbed all the depths that are here.
See, I don't think so. That is so funny because you can ask things like, when do you feel most secure? Or when do you feel the most insecure? Or what, I think that there are so many ways that you can probe that maybe just by hanging out, you don't actually ask those inner feelings. I know for a fact I don't share everything with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
You don't? Wait, you do?
I mean, yeah, for the most part, yeah. No?
I think that there's conversations I've had with other people that I don't get into great detail.
I mean,
with him.
I guess it just depends on the thing. I mean, obviously, it's something really confidential or whatever with a friend, but yeah, kind of, you don't download your day like,
I don't have, and I have a full life going on in my head that I don't tell him every one of my inner feelings, inner emotions, things that happen in my childhood that affect me still to this day, unless it gets brought up somehow. You know, like, hey, this is how I was raised, and so this is why I do things a certain way, or I try to be opposite of the way my mom was, or the way my dad was, or try to mimic some of the things that they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there are things that don't automatically get shared, but are kind of ready to be shared if asked the right questions.
Yeah. You know, I once heard from this, was told by this therapist that talked about the best relationships, because you were making a point, Chef, that you're like, listen, after 40 years, you've plumbed the depths, you've whatever. And maybe if each individual keeps living life, you discover new things.
Yeah.
So he showed me this circle, and he had the couple at the top of the circle. And he said they go their opposite way, and then they intersect. And they go their opposite way, and they intersect. And I have to imagine if couples keep their own individual things going,
yes,
you're going to always have like new things because they're outliving life.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. That makes sense.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like what Justin in Tacoma says, because people are intricate in experiences and changing emotionally, physically, and other aspects. Absolutely. We're always changing. We're always growing.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use this because I'll do stuff like ask my husband, like, what are you thinking? A penny for your thoughts. He's like, don't ask a man what he's thinking. It's never anything great. Like, he's like, we're thinking of Star Wars and, just, but, so it's too generic. I need to be specific. What are you looking forward to
Can I
this
tell you a
week?
man thing?
Yes. Yeah.
We're not ready to be pried open our brains at a moment's notice. Men need conversational foreplay. You can't dive right into my feelings in like the depth of my thoughts. There has to be like banter first. We have to be talking for a little bit before, I'm willing to have someone say like, tell me how work is really going for you right now.
Yeah.
Like if you answer that right off the bat.
So I need to ease into it.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
conversational foreplay.
I love you, Chef, for that. It's because that makes so much sense to me.
You're absolutely. I think foreplay in all aspects of it are very important in a relationship.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, still ahead. Speaking of relationships, we're going to do scenarios. That's next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when aging is part of everyday life. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic was created to help people with overall wellness and longevity, including diabetes management, heart health, weight management, inflammation reduction, nutrition, cognitive health, hormone therapy, and more. I can tell you from personal experience being a patient for 17 years, I have a richer, fuller life. and I'm better able to pursue my own happiness. As America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself the chance to reclaim yours. Independence from aging. Take control of your health before small issues become big problems. Experience a smarter, proactive approach to aging, backed by decades of experience with longevity. Do what I did and feel like yourself again. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out how at lmclinic.com.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on!
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
After the mild winter we just had, forecasters are predicting above average temperatures this summer across western Washington. If your home is struggling to stay cool, your attic could be the culprit. Jake Skorheim here. Poor insulation or no insulation in your attic can account for up to 40% of the heat gain in your home over the summer. That puts a load on your air conditioner and it can leave you sweating. Fortunately, Valentine Roofing has you covered. This summer, bundle energy-saving attic insulation with a new roof and save 10%. That's better comfort, improved energy efficiency, and less strain on your cooling system. Thousands of homeowners have trusted Valentine Roofing for roofing, attic insulation, and complete home protection because every project comes with the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. Plus, with no money down on your project, you don't pay until your project is complete. Call 206 Roofing to save 10% when you bundle a new roof and attic insulation. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
Jake and Spike.
There's a rule.
Noon to 3.
If someone can do something about it, you tell them.
That's a good rule.
If they can't do something about it, you don't say anything.
Were they worried about the awkwardness?
That's on them.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
It is 10:47, and it is time for us to do scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
This one's from Dear Abby. How often do you have to visit grandchildren you don't enjoy? My husband frequently drives 90 minutes to visit his grandchildren and expects me to come. I've made the trip many times, but I'm not interested in babies or children and would rather stay home. I encourage him to visit, but he keeps pressuring me to join him. He says spouses sometimes do things they dislike to support each other. Am I obligated to keep going because his grandchildren are important to him, even though they're not mine? Angela, do you agree with the premise, first of all, that sometimes you have to do things that you don't enjoy just to support your spouse?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep, sure do. Now, I don't think she should go all the time. I think that she should pick some moments and let those moments be great. And yeah, I do. You know, the same person who gave me that advice about good relationships, what I was saying earlier, also gave the advice. And he said, when you're dating, never do anything that you normally would not do. Never. He said people do it all the time. They'll date someone and they'll do this, that, and then they get married and they don't do it because it was never genuine.
Yes.
So he was making the point that when you're dating, just stick to your normal
and
thing.
I go dancing and
No, you don't. I mean, in this case, so I guess what I'm wondering is when they were dating, did she go all the time? Because I don't know how long they've been married.
I'm assuming probably, right?
Yeah, so I think, sometimes I just don't think she has to go all the time.
I agree with you. And my question is, was this a change in position after you tied the knot?
Exactly.
Because of all the things to not really want to be part of, your partner's family, and to say, well, they're not mine. Actually, to some degree, they are yours.
They are yours, yeah.
You chose to marry a man who has grandchildren, has children and grandchildren who want to be, he wants to be a part of their lives. And if you always be that thing that puts a wedge between it, he's going to he's going to not be happy with you. And that is going to be a relationship that is going to be, I think, jeopardized by your position of not wanting to go visit the grandkids. And it doesn't have to be every time, like you said, but to have what sounds like even somewhat a bit of hostility toward the idea makes me think, this is not going to be something that goes the distance.
The other thing I wonder when people say I don't like kids, and there's
if you're
almost
talking
a part
grandkids, they know by that point.
Oh, they do. And the other thing is, if you force her, it could also turn into something really ugly, because then they feel that vibe like, this person that you've married doesn't like me, doesn't like to be here, and now it's going to make everybody miserable. I think she needs to buck it up a little bit and go be as pleasant as possible, enjoy what she can, knowing that she's supportive of her husband, and then not be the wedge between the families.
And I think to make it more palatable for herself, she needs to ask herself some deeper questions on why she has this.
I'm going to squeeze in 2 here, because my advice is just he needs to find a new wife. Because, seriously, if grandchildren are really important to you and your spouse, hates kids and babies, why would you be with that person? Okay, this one is from Say More. It has to do with friends' advice. My close friend is smart, funny, and successful, but she struggles with dating and constantly complains that men reject her. I suspect her loud voice, table manners, clothing, hair, and teeth create bad first impressions. These are things she could clearly change, but she's never asked for my opinion. Ursula, would offering a makeover be an act of loving honesty, or would that be a violation? That's a heck of a list,
hair
right?
Hair and teeth.
Loud voice, table manners, clothing, hair, and teeth.
I would tread lightly on that one, to say the least.
You're going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay.
First. Now, how close is this friendship?
Close friend. Said close friend.
Friends.
Yeah.
Then I would find a way to try to encourage her. Have you ever tried XYZ? Maybe let's go get pedicures together. Maybe, hey, let's do a tooth whitening thing. Or I would love to pay for your spa day. I would love to do your spa day.
Spa day isn't going to fix some of the things they're talking about.
But that's to assume that that's the reason why she's not getting men.
Oh, come on. Teeth and...
Okay.
I've had guy friends where I'm like, bro, you could probably date, but you don't take care of yourself.
Okay, well, if she's got a hygiene problem,
so
I'm talking. I am absolutely saying something. If she, just isn't physically, genetically gifted.
Well, that's different.
No,
that's
different. She's loud, bad table manners, hair, teeth.
If I'm close to that person, then I would have that conversation.
Yep. I actually have
like?
done something like this before.
Oh, tell us.
No,
tell us. I haven't had that conversation yet.
And the person actually wasn't this many. It was one issue. And the person actually was really appreciative.
What was the issue? Like bad breath?
I don't want to. It was. I won't say, because Yeah, it's kind of but
personal.
it was something that wasn't
Something could be
hygiene.
changed.
It wasn't hygiene. It was
Okay.
an appearance thing.
Okay.
That was maybe not the best.
Yes.
And so I offered, my perspective. They were extremely grateful and wrote a thank you note. And
Really?
Yes, because a lot of times people may not
clueless.
see an issue. Like, I sometimes appreciate it when listeners will text and say, Angela, you're using this word a lot or using this crutch word a lot. Sometimes there are things that we have going on that we just don't realize. And no one ever, it's like having spinach in your teeth and no one ever says it.
Now, Nikki's
agree.
asking, why not start with behavioral changes first, like the voice and tone and mannerisms?
But how do you do that?
Yeah, hey, you're kind of loud and you need to fix your laugh. Like, that's a difficult thing. I've had to do this for a friend, though, too.
Seriously?
I had a female friend, actually. We were like went out for drinks one time and, spent about an hour and a half together. And at the end of it, I looked at her, I said, hey, I got to tell you something. Do you realize that we've been sitting here for an hour and a half and you've not asked me one personal question?
Oh, that's a good one.
I love that you did
that's
that.
a good one.
And
You
she
did
was
that?
like, yeah.
Yes.
I have a rule. Like, I refuse to hang out with people who don't ask personal questions.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I've spent time with another couple, like Gabby and I, and they don't ask questions, I don't get a question, I don't want to hang out again.
Yes.
Because like,
you're
I don't care
self-centered.
if you have anxiety or whatever. Like,
What was
that's
the
not
root
worth
of it
my
for that
time.
person? What was the root of it for that person that didn't do that? Did they say?
No, they didn't. They
Unaware.
didn't say. I think it's just some people are blind to
Yeah.
it.
Are they
and-
selfish?
No, I don't think they're generally selfish, but I mean, a lot of guys are like this.
Well, and some people
they
just
go on a
lack
date and they just
curiosity.
talk about themselves.
Yeah.
Right? They're not that genuinely interested in the other person.
Isn't that selfish?
Yes.
Self-centered?
Self-centered, for sure.
Willful or not? That's the question.
Ursula's trying to wrap.
Oh, well, just because we're a little bit late, but text us. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We'll have more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
So, what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
Then we should take our TV ratings and head over to Top Rated Video Only.
at Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
It's the best time of the year at Staples, with back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech and more at staples.com/back-to-school.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, knows you call.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Washington, D.C. is saying a final farewell to longtime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. A ceremony at first inside the Capitol Rotunda today. Lawmakers and family paying respects ahead of his funeral at the National Cathedral. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
The first of two funerals for the late Senator Lindsey Graham will be here at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. Before that, he'll have a private ceremony at the Rotunda of the United States Capitol. Graham will be eulogized here at the National Cathedral by his close friend, President Donald Trump, who has said that the South Carolina Republican was like family to him.
Ukraine's President Zelensky and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also attending Graham's funeral. Wildfires continue to ravage parts of Spain and France. Hundreds of thousands are fleeing their homes and towns. Here in the U.S., cleanup is underway following a string of tornadoes that tore through the Midwest. Those storms now targeting the Northeast today. This is ABC News. In Mississippi, the investigation continuing into the death of Nolan Wells over the July 4th weekend. He was last spotted with friends off the boat of Horn Island. His family is calling for transparency, coming after he commissioned a second autopsy report reporting that the death was still inconclusive. Here's ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Documents obtained by ABC News show that boat set off for Horn Island just before 10 a.m. the morning of July 4th. Wells and his friends arrived at 11:14. For the next 5 hours, the boat was stationary until it left at 4:31 p.m. without Wells, moving at no more than 4 knots. Whatever problem the teens reported was resolved about an hour later at 5:25 when vessel regains normal operation and begins accelerating at 30 to 35 knots.
Apple is taking a page out of a car dealership playbook with its new leasing strategy. The Apple Upgrade, a new program that lets consumers lease certain devices for up to 3 years. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Gang-related, that is how Seattle police describe the mass shooting Sunday night at the Bite of Seattle. But first, KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. A fatal car and semi-truck collision is causing a major backup right now on northbound I-5 just before SR-18. The right-bound 2 lanes are blocked near Federal Way Rest area. State Patrol just confirmed the driver of the semi-truck has died. Drivers should be prepared for long delays. This traffic report is brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Open a money market special online with 3.75 annual percentage yield with full access to your money the entire time at harborstone.com/moneymarket. Insured by NCUA.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Police say the shooters at Seattle Center knew each other. Assistant Chief Nicole Powell is leading the investigation into Sunday night's mass shooting.
At this point, we believe this could be gang-related.
Police believe there were 3 shooters, a 15-year-old boy who was in custody, a 19-year-old who was shot dead at the scene, and a third person who got away. A total of 3 people died, and we've learned who they are. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas reports.
19-year-old Junior C. Nico Simo died from multiple gunshot wounds. Investigators believe he was shooting at another person along with a 15-year-old suspect who's in custody. 44-year-old Carlos Israel Sanchez Villalba died from a gunshot wound to the torso. And 56-year-old Ashley Whitehead died from a gunshot wound to the pelvis. She passed at the hospital.
Community members and Seattle leaders gathered at Seattle Center last night to honor the 3 people killed.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
An emotional and at times tense scene as local organizers and city officials, including Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson,
as you said, the solution is all of us here together,
and Police Chief Sean Barnes were on hand.
What could we have done better, and what do we need to do better?
I don't know how to make sense out of it, but I also know this is not going to break us.
One thing that leaders stressed, saying even with safeguards in place, people have to continue to work together to make the most out of the community resources available and pull together, especially in times like these.
That was KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas reporting. Pierce County deputies arrested a wanted 22-year-old man after a strong-arm robbery. It happened just before 5 yesterday morning. The suspect allegedly pulled a 65-year-old man from his truck in the LA Fitness on Pacific Avenue South and took off. Later that day, a detective spotted the truck near Spanaway Lake Park, sparking a pursuit. Here's Deputy Carly Capetto.
That pursuit went all through the Pacific Avenue South Corridor area into shopping center parking lot and down A Street.
Deputies eventually stopped the vehicle with a pit maneuver and the suspect was arrested. He faces robbery and multiple other felony charges. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos could soon have a stake in one of the world's most famous soccer clubs. Reports say Bezos is in talks to join an investor group looking to buy up to a 30% stake in English Premier League powerhouse Liverpool. The proposed deal reportedly values the club at around $6 billion. Fenway Sports Group, which owns the club, has not confirmed Bezos' involvement, and no deal has been finalized. Now to your KIRO News Radio weather. We've got pops of sunshine today. Highs will be in the 70s. Right now, it's 67 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. It is a beautiful morning, and we have a lot of information to get to in this third hour of our show today. Angela Poe Russell is in for G. Thank you for stepping in.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Coming up at 11:30, we will do Agree to Disagree. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. If you missed any part of our show, I hope that you are listening to us on our podcast, and you can subscribe and follow us on pretty much any place that you listen to podcasts. But let's get to it. We got a lot of information.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
And I just heard that Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is going to be holding another news conference today with an update on the investigation into Sunday's mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle. It starts at noon, and we will be taking that live. But there are so many moving parts to this story, and Luke Ducey has been covering all of them. And we thought it would be easier if we just had you join us and give us the latest on what we know.
Sure. Well, the latest is this, that according to a new police spokesperson, Nicole Powell, who seemingly replaced Chief Sean Barnes at a press conference yesterday afternoon after Sean Barnes had a confrontation with a reporter that was pretty visible in a morning press conference. It was explained, though, by the mayor that Nicole Powell is an assistant chief who is there because she is leading the investigation. That's what they told us. She said that, look, we're searching for a third shooter, that this shooting is gang-related, that these two that opened fire on each other, the 19-year-old who was killed is among those 3 dead at the scene, and a suspect who was on the run, they started opening up, shooting at each other, and then a third person, the 15-year-old who has been arrested, who was an associate of the 19-year-old who died, was also firing weapons. So 3 people One's on the run right now, the other suspect. So that's the latest nuts and bolts. But, one of the things that we've been covering this morning is there's a lot of, high elevation with a lot of moving parts and different pieces of what we hear here and there and everywhere is that, there's a lot of mess going on in the administration, it seems, for a lack of a better word, from a communication standpoint, for everything from a delay in letting the public know and informing them on Sunday evening, 5 hours after the shooting, what was going on as far as nuts and bolts. But, they failed to mention after that 5-hour wait at 11 o'clock at night that there was another shooter on the run. One of the questions that we always ask is the public safe? Is there anyone else wanted, et cetera? That was never shared. There was tension there because they believe that, a public information officer with Seattle Police Department said that they were delayed to having that press conference because they're waiting for other dignitaries that wanted to take part, the governor and Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. But the mayor explained the next day that wasn't true. There was no delay. But then there was this exchange as well about CCTV cameras. And I think this is just kind of indicative of the larger picture. If we take these little snapshots of things, like I just mentioned, and then we bring it to the bigger picture, it kind of paints a larger picture. The mayor and police don't seem to be on the same page when it comes to CCTV cameras on the scene. Very first thing off the bat, Sunday night, Assistant Chief Tyrone Davis said there were no cameras at Seattle Center. Then he modified that later to say there are cameras, but they didn't capture anything. Yesterday, in a news conference, Chief Barnes was asked about cameras, and he said this.
I do not know if we have video of it. I have not had a briefing on that just yet.
So he didn't know if there was any video of anything. And then Mayor Wilson literally jumped on the podium seconds after he said that, and she explained.
I've been told that the Seattle Center does have cameras, and we are in the process of pulling that footage to see if there's anything relevant in there.
There's still a lot of questions. Are there cameras? Are there not? Do you have video? Do you not? And this is a day after the shooting. Is it almost 24 hours after the shooting? And it turns out there are private cameras in Seattle Center, not the city's CCTV cameras. But it's not the cameras themselves. It's just, why did it take 24 hours to still not get a clear picture of evidence that they're collecting, and that's just one little piece.
And Luke, it mirrored the actual night of the incident, when I'm forgetting the man's title from the police department that was speaking that night live, and he basically was saying, I don't know of any cameras, and she said once again, like, there was a whole discrepancy about the camera thing.
Right.
So I'm like, what is this with the discrepancy on the cameras?
Right, because it's a private. So whether it's at the they should know regardless, because that's going to be critical in your investigation. I also understand, because someone in law enforcement said, one person said that in big investigations like this, for example, on the third suspect, they might not have wanted to give that information because that person was not yet arrested, and they don't want to tip off the suspect that they're aware that there's someone else that they're looking for. So that very well could be one of the reasons. And you know how when there's all these different moving parts, there will be, that's a change in story. We know that Chief Barnes was out of town. He came back in, so maybe he just hadn't been briefed on that. So people who were working in his stead, had the information. But I think a lot of this plays into, and this is what I wanted to ask you about, Angela, I think this plays into this lack of confidence in our current leadership in the city of Seattle.
Yeah. Listen, I think even Mayor Wilson acknowledged, she had some experience coming into this, but this was a big jump, from
Transit Union.
The Transit Riders Union, to running a huge operation, and then one that serves the public and this big of a way. So many departments, so many different layers, and all of a sudden becoming, like you said, having to do press conferences all the time, having to answer questions from so many different reporters. And I just think it's a big step. And this was something that I know critics worried about, and so I think we're probably seeing some growing pains.
Yes, seeing it in real life.
And I would say, as a person who communicates for a living, I do appreciate that we are seeing the value of communication, of good communication, and what goes wrong when those things break down.
And yes, the failure of communication here is astounding, and it just reiterates how much dissension and dysfunction there is at City Hall, because, as you mentioned, not everyone's on the same page, not even on the same page when it comes to policy about cameras. And the mayor is now saying, we're going to be looking at the cameras to help, potentially find this third suspect or whatever. It's an aid in the investigation of a very serious crime, which is, again, why we keep saying we need cameras, turn the cameras on.
And her concerns about not having CCTV cameras and putting that program on hold for the city and not advancing more cameras. And the whole issue with the World Cup, should they be on, should they not, was because she wants to protect the privacy of citizens and not allow some footage to get into the hands of federal agents to use for immigration enforcement and other things. But there's also some more moving parts that, from a PR perspective, just because I used to work in PR, because you all mentioned leadership, if you don't grab the narrative and you don't own it, and you don't put out information sometimes, and you allow people to fill in the gaps with their own narrative, and that appears to be happening, or there appears to be another peek behind the curtain here into the relationship between city council and the mayor. New information that shows the mayor and city council do not appear aligned on how to reduce gun violence in the city. Councilmember Maritza Rivera sent an email out yesterday urging the mayor to join the National Network for Safe Communities. It's a well-known organization that has helped a lot of different agencies, including Philadelphia, Boston, Chicago, Baltimore, reduce gun violence. And she wants to be a part of this. She wants to introduce legislation to try to be a part of it. It's widely recognized. But Rivera said about the mayor in her email, quote, "I have reached out to her to partner on this work, and she has been non-committal." So now you have at least one council member, saying the mayor doesn't want to work with me on gun violence. At the same time, Councilmember Bob Kettle fired off an email yesterday as well, saying, his thoughts and prayers are with the victims and the families, but he'll continue prioritizing keeping residents safe on the Public Safety Committee. That's where he works most. And, quote, "I strongly urge the Wilson administration to partner in this effort." So there's an ask from a committee member saying, hey, mayor and mayor administration, please work with us on reducing gun violence.
So they're taking the moments after a shooting to say, please partner with an organization in their plan of which there are no public details, and try to frame that as a way. I don't know.
I think they're trying to use this moment to highlight. It sounds like to me they're trying to use this moment to highlight that she hasn't been willing to work with them on this. Is that what? Do I have that right?
I think that's what they're insinuating. That's what I'm getting from them. But I mean, fair point, Chef. Yeah, I mean, this is the point about not controlling a narrative. Is any narrative applies now? You can fill in the gaps.
Well, and that's what's happening because starting with a 5-hour gap before information was put out there.
Well, there was a press release earlier, right? Yeah. There was a press release that came out from the mayor's office.
8 p.m. on Sunday evening or Sunday night, which included inaccuracies.
It did have an but that was how many hours after?
2
hours. Okay.
2 hours after, but it was inaccurate.
Yep.
And therefore, it looks like the decision was made somewhere. Just stop communicating until we get everything set for an 11 p.m. press conference, or whenever we could get people there and be ready to go.
I have never seen, I shouldn't say never, but I've been living here a long time, and it's been a while since I've seen the media so fired up. You guys are mad out there. I was like, what? I mean, what part of, obviously this is a huge thing that happened in our city, a huge act of violence. And, but yeah, what's behind that? Why are you all so riled up on this?
Of course, we always want good stories. We're looking for good stories. But, in instances like this, and I think this is why most of us got into this business, is that we want to do good. And we want to tell good stories. And we want to right wrongs. We want to give voice to people who don't have voice. That's why we get into this business, to do those things. And in these instances, our minds, especially mine, go right to, I want to put information out there to reassure people and communities that you're safe. Or that, you don't have to look, or lock your doors now because there's someone out there, on the loose.
And you had no guidance.
And when you don't have that guidance from people, it becomes social media is a whole new beast, and things start flying on the internet at lightning speed, and it can be really scary for people. And what you want to do as a journalist is reassure them.
And I think that should be first and foremost, and also focus on the victims, and then also focus on making sure that justice is served when they do arrest the people, and again, making sure that the public is safe. I think these other things that are coming up is just indicative of how there's just a lack of faith in the current setup right now. So you're going to be looking with extra scrutiny.
They don't come up, and stories don't have legs, is what we say in this business, unless there are obvious issues. When you take all the totality of what we've all seen and experienced in the last couple of days, and why the media is so fired up about not getting answers, because again, people run with the narrative, and then there are a million narratives out there, and unless you got someone in place to correct all that, it's just gonna continue, and it gets kind of chaotic and out of control. One case in point, and I don't know if you've all talked about this. I'm gonna poke the bear a little bit here. I know. But here we are. There's debate going on right now out in the newsroom, and I've talked to two PR experts who work at a global level, who have been in PR for decades, about this. And less than 2 days after this mass shooting, this gang-related shooting, the mayor's office and the mayor put out a press release to announce a new housing director. Well, PR 101 is what I'm being told by experts is a little tone deaf, not the right time. Should have been a soft release. You don't make a big deal about it because it comes across as, hey, what does that mean? Are you moving on and you're going to go into housing now and talk about housing instead of the shooting while there's a shooter still at large and an arrest hasn't been made? Or is it the right time to start communicating and moving on with city business?
In fairness,
I don't know.
Okay, so criticism where criticism is due. I'm going to push back on what you just said because, in fairness, there are other things happening in the city while they're investigating this. She's holding a news conference. I will say, despite the very poor start for this, she's there at all the different news conferences, from what I can tell. The mayor has been. And there's other work going on and other things happening in the city. So that doesn't bother me as much as, I think we're hyper fixated right now on this thing, which is obviously the number one thing on a lot of people's minds when it comes to what's happening.
Yeah, but I think you nailed the root of it, though, which is the lack of confidence.
Exactly. So we're going to find everything at this point. Luke, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about parking.
Why?
Because how much does parking make a difference where you go?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, the fact that, look, Pacific Place, one of my favorite places, has always been one of my favorite places to go.
Yes.
But now that I have other options and I know that it costs me to park there, I just
don't
go to Bellevue. Sorry.
Well, there is something to be said about
Bellevue parking is amazing.
Bellevue Square is free parking.
Yeah.
Or the Bellevue Collection.
Oh, yes.
I keep getting told.
Well, your taste adventure begins. That was my voice on many of the commercials.
Is that right?
Oh, yes, it was. Yes.
Okay, let's do it again.
Oh, well, your taste adventure begins. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So the reason we're bringing this up is because Seattle has a plan to put in paid parking at the junction in West Seattle, and the deadline for people to weigh in on this decision is this week. This is according to the West Seattle blog. So once you put in paid parking, does that alter your decision in terms of how often you will frequent a business?
Yeah. No, let us know what you think. I know for a fact, I do, as you all know, I write. And so I'll go to coffee shops to write. And there's this one place, I really love the energy there. I've written great songs there. But whenever I go, it's $10 because it's like $5 an hour for street parking. And there's a coffee shop I love that is, about 5 minutes away from there. And it's $2 an hour. And that makes a difference.
It really does. And we talk about it all the time in terms of downtown. I would be much more apt to go downtown if I knew that there would be free parking or reduced parking. Or
you just don't want to have to pay $25. I was in Chicago and went to their pier, which I'm sure they want people there. Parking cost us $50. I was like, I would never go there. I would never in a million years. I just think sometimes when cities are making these decisions and these departments are making decisions. They say they care about small businesses, but it's like you think you're hitting the public, but you're hitting the small business, the people, the main, what we call the main street, the mom and pop, the people that keep our economy going, the people that make our neighborhoods great. Like that impacts them. And between them tearing up the roads, taking out, and I'm a fan of, my husband is a bike rider. I want us to have safe passageways. I just don't think we look at it comprehensively, or I guess maybe the word would be holistically when we're making those decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, still ahead, we agree to disagree. Chef, what is on the docket?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to ask you a question about whether you should really listen to advice from your wife. Because it paid off big for somebody.
Oh, wow.
It always does.
Absolutely.
Live longer, happy, healthier.
This is supposed to be agree to disagree. Okay, we'll have that and more coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
Subscribe to the Jake and Spike YouTube channel and watch live or later.
142 striking workers in Washington State have collected benefits for the unemployment that they're now entitled to, per law in Washington, worth $506,000.
I'm not crazy about it. I get it that it's great that you're standing up for workers, but there's no risk.
You're voluntarily saying, I'm going to step
I'm stepping away.
And I'd like somebody else to pay it. That doesn't seem fair.
Jake and Spike, weekdays noon to 3 on KIRO Newsradio.
The Mariners are kicking off 50-season celebration weekend with an alumni home run derby on August 7th, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Watch Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers in an epic post-game competition. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
At Seattle Children's Hospital, 1 in 3 patient families can't afford the food their kids need to heal. A child recovering from surgery and the family struggling to put nutritious food on the table. That's why Seattle Children's, Safeway, and Seahawk Jackson Smith and Jigba launched the Food First Project to fight pediatric food insecurity by providing grocery cards, produce vouchers, and food as medicine programs for families. No barriers, just help. 12s, we need you. Learn more at Safeway.com. Again, that's Safeway.com.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Reutin from the Gee and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the Gee and Ursula YouTube channel.
John Curley here. When the AC starts acting up, don't assume you need a whole new system. Home Comfort Alliance, their approach is simple. Repair first, replace only if needed. Their techs diagnose the real problem because a simple fix can often get the cooling back up again and not cost you a full replacement. Need something new? Ask about a heat pump for year-round comfort. That's what we did at the barn. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at homecomfortalliance.com. Call the comfort people. homecomfortalliance.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
There's a sink at the brink and a drain that's a pain. DayandNight.net.
Slow drain? Backed up toilet? Call Day and Night to save $100 off any drain cleaning.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. From a slow drain to a major backup, no drain is too big or too small. Whether we're your first choice or smart second opinion, I guarantee our experts will solve any drain problem, day or night.
Now get $100 off any drain cleaning.
DayandNight.net. We all know a cancer diagnosis is physically and emotionally draining, but it can be financially draining too. That's why Northwest Hope and Healing is here to help. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to be part of Northwest Hope and Healing's mission. We provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare so patients can focus on healing. Since the year 2000, we have distributed over $3 million in direct financial assistance to thousands of local cancer patients. And you can make a direct impact. Mark your calendar for Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel and Spa in Woodinville. It's an unforgettable afternoon of hope and inspiration, celebrating local cancer survivors. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
I started Davis Law Group in 1994 to fight for the underdog. And as our team has grown, we've stayed true to that mission. Today, Davis Law Group is known for providing excellent service and even better results. Visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com to get your free book on car accident law.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Today, President Trump met with two world leaders before attending Lindsey Graham's funeral. ABC's Karen Travers has more.
We do not have a readout from the White House about what took place in that meeting with the Israeli prime minister, but there's a potential for some tensions because the two have had a bit of a tense relationship in recent weeks as it relates to the war with Iran and, of course, Israel's recent strikes in Lebanon, which have complicated the situation as the U.S. has tried to reach a deal with Iran.
On the heels of Sunday's mass shooting at the Bight of Seattle, Mayor Katie Wilson doesn't seem to have the full confidence from the city council. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it also appears she's not on the same page with Seattle police over surveillance footage.
At a press conference, Chief Sean Barnes said he wasn't sure.
I do not know if we have video of it.
Then Mayor Wilson said they were already reviewing video.
I've been told that Seattle Center does have cameras.
And now City Council member Maritza Rivera is publicly urging Mayor Katie Wilson to embrace tougher anti-gun violence strategies, but claims she's been non-committal about partnering so far. Councilmember Bob Kettle is also pressing the mayor to work with the council on public safety. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Investigators say a 19-year-old man killed in the shooting was one of the gunmen, and a 15-year-old arrested at the scene was his associate. The mayor will hold another press conference at noon. The U.S. Department of Education has opened a parental rights investigation into Pierce County's Bethel School District. Federal officials say a Pride Month display at Graham Kapowskin High School in Graham allegedly included vials of testosterone, a controlled substance. Local authorities removed the display earlier this year over health and safety concerns. Investigators will also look at whether parents were allowed to review instructional materials and opt children out of activities requiring consent. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. That fatal car and semi-collision is causing a 5-mile and growing backup on northbound I-5. This is just before State Route 18. The two right lanes are blocked near the Federal Way rest area. State Patrol has confirmed the driver of that semi has died. Drivers should prepare for long delays. Other drive times right now, 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle. Renton to Bellevue, 22 minutes, 30 minutes Federal Way to Seattle. This traffic report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial 97.3 HD2. For your forecast, spots of sunshine and a few sprinkles later today, but highs will be in the low 70s. Right now, it's about 68 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. He'll be back tomorrow. Angela Poe Russell is in. It's time for us to agree to disagree. Brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
All right. Looks like my computer's off there. Anyways, let's go to Maryland. And I guess the reason why you should always listen to your wife. So this guy in Maryland said he almost handed over a $50,000 winning lottery ticket to a friend until his wife stopped him. So John Hamilton is the guy's name. He purchased a $50 scratch-off ticket from a convenience store, forgot about it in his pocket, just folded it up, put it in his pocket. But the following day, John ran into a friend that he owed $40. He then remembered having this lottery ticket. This is what he tells the Maryland Lottery. He says, I remember the ticket in my pocket, and I offered it to my friend, telling him, hey, you never know, there might be something on this. Why don't you take this instead of the $40 since I don't have any cash on me? His friend agreed, and he's handing over the ticket when his wife intervenes. She literally intercepted his hand, stepped in, and said, hey, you know what? Stop. You already said there might be something on the ticket. Don't do it. So he pulled it back, said he'd get his friend later, went back to his car with his wife. They start scratching off the numbers, and he notices, oh, I got a match. What do you know? Wins $50,000 on the ticket. Angela, does he owe his friend anything? Other than the $40, I suppose.
You know, what crossed my mind is I don't think, obviously, pay the $40. I think it'd be a nice gesture to give him something extra, like maybe give him $1,000. But I don't think he owes him anything, but I think it would be a nice gesture to give something.
This story sounds so unbelievable that
Maryland Lottery.
Okay.
I'm quoting. They interviewed John and his wife. I'm not making this up.
Perfectly worked out. That is
well. You know how lotteries like to promote themselves, right? They put the press releases out, the whole circumstances of the story.
Yes.
Where were you when you won?
Yes. Instead of, hey, we bought it at the 7-Eleven and we were scratching it off. Do I think he owes him? I know that I would feel like I want to give him something. Just as a friendly gesture.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. I think it would be good mojo. You know, there's this thing, it's very much in the Filipino culture. If you are gambling and you win, that you share, that you give some of your winnings. It's called balato, which is basically...
Like you spread the love?
Yes, exactly.
Spread the love?
Yeah. You spread the love, it comes back to you.
I like that.
Some for you, some for you.
Yeah. Well, the problem is sometimes you're like, where does it stop? But at the end...
How much do you have to win?
This was a friend who...
He owed him money, $40.
Yeah, $40. Yeah, so would I give him $1,000? I mean, that's really nice. I don't know that my partner would be in agreement of that, but I would definitely do something really cool or buy him a dinner somewhere or... give him several hundred at least.
Does his friend have to know he won it?
He told the Maryland Lottery about it. So, with
yes.
his name, there's a picture of this guy, on the web. He's got the big check with his wife. He's like, hey, sorry, Kevin. I know I offered you this scratch ticket and you accepted it until my wife stepped in.
Let me ask you this. If he did give him the $1,000, do you think to the person that gets it, would that feel like enough? You know how you do something nice and person's like, well, they could have given more. They got 50.
She owes me $25,000. Should have split it at least.
I would imagine that person would feel really good because they're under no obligation to give a darn thing.
No.
It was just going to be a nice gesture and it was stopped. So there never was an actual transaction.
Well, I mean, it was a verbal agreement between the two until his wife literally blocked it. Let me ask you, though, if somebody offers you a $50 scratch ticket instead of $40 in cash, are you taking the scratch ticket, Ursula?
No, I'm like, pay me back my money.
Give me my money? Ursula?
You know that there'd be a chance I would take it.
You would take it, wouldn't you?
If we're only talking about $40, I'd be surprised if someone even tried to return $40.
Seriously?
Really?
If somebody borrows $40 from me, I expect
want
the
my
$40
back.
I am less likely to believe that somebody's going to return $1,000 than they would return $40.
Well, now you know who to ask for money.
Seriously.
She won't ask for it back. She'll be like,
well, I mean, if it's talking about 40
I know.
versus 400, yeah, I'd be asking for it back.
Yeah, well, you know Susie Orman, the financial advisor,
Yes.
her advice is if you loan money, like it's never a loan. Like she's like, it's a gift and just leave it because it just creates bad mojo.
Yes, but I will say something about that. The friends that I have loaned money to have been really good about paying it back. And if I am in a position, and I've not always been in a position, but if I'm in a position where I could help at times, then I'm happy to do it if I know there's a payment plan.
So it's so interesting. Like, I haven't had people come to me asking for money. That happens to you.
That's never happened to me either.
Because you mentioned you had
they
friends.
Know. They know.
You're so generous and sweet.
Well, I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm a ATM.
No, I don't think it. No,
by any stretch, but it's happened before, and I know that. I mean, these are when I say like really good friends who've been in a pinch. Of course, I'm going to try to help.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love that advice from Susie, and like we've talked about this with Gee before,
generally true.
Right? Too, like that the idea that if you're going to loan someone money, just consider it gone.
Yes.
That's terrible. That's terrible advice. I mean, and they also say what, like, if you're going to loan someone money, you should just consider it gone, and that's the price of your friendship. Like, friends are only worth $500.
No, she was saying that's the way to preserve your friendship.
Yes.
Because she said if you leave it as a loan, when the person doesn't pay you back, it blows up the friendship. So they were like, she's like, don't loan anything out that you can't afford to just make a gift, because the likelihood is you may not get it back and then your friendship's blown up. So she's like, to preserve the friendship, make it a gift and leave it alone. And if you can't gift it, don't do it.
Seriously?
Yeah. And
I don't
think
know.
about it. When someone doesn't pay
Doesn't
you back,
that
the
presume-
fracture in the friendship that occurs when someone doesn't pay you back.
Yeah, but like the whole thing with that advice, though, is it presumes that the vast majority of people are not going to pay you back.
Yeah.
And I feel like the vast majority of people would pay you back. I mean, how many friends would you loan money to and consider like they're not going to pay you back?
It's not a general thing. It would be a very specific instance where I knew they were good for it and they wouldn't ask. It's harder for them to ask. So often there are some people who, whether they have addiction problems or whether they have some, that they're always going to be asking and with no intention of paying back.
Yeah.
I'm leery of that.
Yeah,
But
right. I'd never loan someone with an addiction.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
Know where it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm down.
That was out loud.
I think Angela's done with that conversation.
No, it's not that. I think it's this virus, man. I'm just like,
oh.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Still ahead.
Honey, am I boring you?
A lot of you are weighing in on this particular agree to disagree. So keep your text coming in. We're going to share some of your feedback and, of course, our words to live by. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO Newsradio. 97.3 FM and mynorthwest.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Holy smokes!
The On Cruise Adventures Rick Riz Show.
What happened at the ballpark yesterday?
Sparky's sitting on my scorebook here, my cat.
Friday mornings at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront costs. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes lifetime repairs, annual maintenance, and even filters at no additional charge ever. Go to cmheating.com and schedule your free estimate online today.
License number CMHEAHL 751LW.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free. Free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
And just just like that, we are at the end of our Tuesday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela, it has been a pleasure as always.
It's a joy being here. I've had a great time. Thanks for having me.
Did today go by really fast?
It went by really fast.
How did it become this late in the show?
It went by really fast.
Okay, we're going to have you start with the
text messages. First of all, we were talking about Seattle's police chief, Sean Barnes. A lot going on, right? Paul in DuPont, give the police chief a break. He probably has not slept since he got off the airplane. Where the heck is the governor?
Well, the governor was at the press conference on Sunday night. 206 says, I was a high-level commander at SPD and retired after several decades of service. It pains me that people died and were injured at the bite. Communications to the public should have occurred much earlier, even with just basic facts and a promise to update regularly. It was obvious they were awaiting the dignitaries. The chief should have been in town, and while it's reasonable for him to visit family and violence is not predictable, the large events in Seattle are ripe for disturbances, and as the leader of SPD, the chief should be in town. He may care about the victims, but it's clear he is not invested in Seattle. If you think the public has lost faith in him, you can bet the men and women of SPD have also. He's not a leader. I don't know if a Sentinel event review is planned by the Inspector General, but one should be to fully analyze this event. And furthermore, this person says his temper, which people have complained about internally, was on display with that reporter. Thoughts and prayers to the victims and the first responders, and of course, all of Seattle.
Gary, the question that should be asked, in the event of an emergency and Chief Barnes is unavailable, who is in charge and are they empowered to act as the chief?
Very good point. Is it time for Seattle Center to have gated security? 206 says the bite of Seattle was gated 25 plus years ago because of gang activity taking place at the McDonald's that used to be located across the street.
Sandy and Olympia, I hate and have always hated when a public park is gated. Take Bumbershoot, the Labor Day weekend music festival at Seattle. I actually lost a job at the Children's Museum for protesting that. Gating and fencing Seattle Center, then hand-wanding every person before allowing them inside won't stop a determined, crazed criminal from harming visitors. But maybe it's time to do it.
And then there's 253 who says, are you going to gate Pike Place Market and the Seattle waterfront? The venue is not the issue. Enforcement and the judicial system are the issue.
So many great points, right?
Yes.
And the scenario, should I tell my friend that she has no success with men because she's loud, has bad table manners, bad hair, and bad teeth? Whew, Lord.
I think that was kind of mean of the person to come up with that assessment.
They didn't call out their friend's name. Like, would you identify yourself in a public advice column with that?
Liz in Gig Harbor, why not invite the friend to go for a makeover when she gets one?
And then my point was, what if she isn't as genetically gifted as some, and maybe there are some things that she cannot change? I mean, and there are things you can change for sure. Basic hygiene, absolutely. But Glenn in Atlanta says she's not genetically gifted. Is that Ursula's way of saying she's ugly?
UGLY, you ain't got... Sorry. You never...
What is that?
You've never heard that?
No. What is it?
It's a rhyme.
Okay.
Do I finish
something
it?
that, yes.
It's a UGLY. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was...
Was this like an old school like cheerleading disc or something?
Okay, first of all, I never said it. I wasn't a cheerleader either.
You have now.
But I heard it growing up down south.
Oh,
But-
really? Okay.
So I don't know if
South
it's a
or
southern thing.
The genteel southern thing. The southern hospitality.
Hey, kids are mean everywhere.
Okay,
Kids
if you
are mean
want to know
everywhere.
what we're referring to, that was our 947 topic.
Well, I mean, it is a great question.
Yes.
Because I'm sure all of us know someone that's like, oh, I'm having trouble dating. And you probably can pinpoint the thing if you know
If
them
someone
really
has
well.
horribly
true.
bad breath, or if someone just is truly obnoxious,
Do you tell them?
How do you tell someone they're obnoxious? Like, you
That's
need to fix
just it.
The problem is your personality. You just need to fix.
no.
Like,
And
Is
I
it
wouldn't,
obnoxious?
I wouldn't ever say it that way. I think that they're just...
That's what it is, right?
Like, have you thought about mints? Have you thought about seeing a dentist? Like, what did you say?
Have you thought about not being so annoying?
And normally, as you know, Chef, I like to confront things head on.
I know, you do. I don't
know,
think you can do that
But there are certain things like, if they can't help it, I'm not going to be the one that says, y'all just too ugly. It's not going to happen.
She would say you're not genetically gifted.
Okay, let's move on.
They have a great sense of humor.
They do have a great sense of humor. Maybe lean in on that one. Lean in on your humor. Oh, no. Okay. How about how men allegedly need conversational foreplay?
Oh, this was the best.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Doug in Mount Vernon. Angela, if you ask a guy a penny for your thoughts, you're going to get what you paid for with a one-word response. Doug, you're the best.
And then Robin Puyallup says, Angela, I find it interesting that you say you download your day. My wife does the same thing. I listen and I talk with her about it until I am emotionally full, as it were. I don't do the same because I don't want to create more stress for her. Aw.
But it's okay to download some.
And then are people in the South more welcoming? Dawn says, when I first arrived in Seattle 30 years ago, someone told me people in Seattle have their friends and they don't want new ones. They weren't completely wrong. We're not completely wrong. There's a never-ending let's get together invitation that will never actually happen. And when you try to nail down a time, you get, I'll get back to you. They won't. Call me and remind me about plans. Last-minute flaky cancellations and the compartmentalization of friendship. We do this one activity together and nothing else. I could go on, says Dawn. Yes, the Seattle freeze is real.
Angela, how do you explain the Seattle freeze if only 30% of people here were even born in Washington State?
It's the weather, maybe. I'll blame the weather. All I know is I was blown away by the number of people, the number of men who went into our text line saying that they had been scolded for opening a door. So that
was just so depressing to me.
It was, I know.
Seriously?
Then you know what we need then? We need Ursula's words to live by.
Okay, and that is about choosing joy. Because when you choose joy, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. And when you do good, it reminds others of what joy feels like. And it just might inspire them to do the same.
See, that was a nice palate cleanser.
Opening the door.
Yes. It was a nice palate cleanser.
Choose joy when you thank them instead of saying, you jerk, why are you opening the door for me?
And assuming good intent, because that was the other thing, that the miscommunication over ma'am or gal and it meaning different things in different cultures.
Yes.
And having a little bit of grace.
Yes, absolutely. Angela, thank you so much. Appreciate you always. Chef, thank you. Nick, fantastic job. This is a different Nick, but you just did it flawlessly today. Thank you so much. Jake and Spike are coming up next, but we're going to hear from Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson. She's going to have the latest update on the mass shooting investigation, and you're going to want to hear that because it should happen around noon. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
I heard a lot of gunfire.
It really sounded like a firework at first.
A community searching for answers.
Breaking news, a mass shooting at Seattle Center.
500 plus people just like stampeding our way.
It was horrible. The kids right there screaming, trying to get their dad.
The station you trust when it matters most.
Detectives are working to track down everyone involved.
KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM and mynorthwest.com. Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com
or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your